Hello. If you're watching this video, I hope that you've watched How to Complete the Square and Solve Derivative Equations Part 1, where we very briefly, admittedly, looked at a quick solution to a quadratic equation by the use of completing the square. In that first video, we noticed that we only had the coefficient of x squared being 1. Obviously, this isn't going to be the case every time, so we have to look at what happens when the coefficient of x squared doesn't equal 1. Now, this is going to be a brief video outlining a quick example. The question reads as follows: 4x squared minus 12x plus 7 equals 0. Now, what we want is for the coefficient of x squared to be 1, not 4. And similarly to the last video, we're going to be looking at x squared and x, that is all the x's in the equation. So first we remove the 4 by factoring it out of x squared and minus 12x. So we have 4 x squared minus 3x. Now note that we have x squared minus 3x in a form that we are much more familiar with now. So what we normally do is we consider minus 3x and we take half of that and we put that in an x minus half of this squared, where there will be an expansion and a number which we'll have to eradicate. Now this is where things get very similar to the previous example. So we have x minus 3 over 2 squared, which when we expand it gives x squared minus 3x, which is the same as this. Now the bit that we're going to have to remove is plus 9 over 4. Now before we start adding it in and saying, oh, we're going to have to remove minus 9 over 4, consider that there's still a 4 that we have to multiply through this bracket. So if we rewrite this, we have 4 now this is where we remove the extra number, which is 4 times 9 over 4. The 4's obviously cancel, so we have 9. So to remove this so that we can use this terminology here, we simply have a minus 9 there. Now we rewrite this as follows. Now, we obviously can't take our square roots and solve the equation whilst we have this 4 hanging around. So if we divide throughout by 4, notice that this becomes 1 over 2. So we can write it like this. Now we take square roots. And we have x minus 3 over 2 equals plus or minus 1 over root 2. Now when we solve this equation we have to take into consideration both positive 1 over root 2 and negative 1 over root 2, and it's as simple as writing as follows. X equals, for positive 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2 plus 3 over 2, and x equals 3 over 2 minus 1 over root 2. Thank you for watching the videos.